Imagine waking up to a global media frenzy, your face plastered across headlines accusing you of orchestrating a $600 million crypto heist. The spotlight is blinding, the stakes are astronomical, and the entire digital asset world is holding its breath. This is not a scene from a high-stakes cyber thriller. This is the very real drama unfolding around Charles Hoskinson, co-founder of Cardano, as he faces accusations that threaten not only his reputation and company, but the very future of blockchain trust itself. In the ever-evolving world of cryptocurrencies, there are few figures as polarizing or visionary as Charles Hoskinson. From his roots as one of the original architects of Ethereum to his bold leadership at Cardano, Hoskinson has built a reputation for rigorous engineering, academic rigor, and an unyielding commitment to transparency. Cardano itself, launched through years of peer-reviewed research and methodical development, has promised to deliver a blockchain platform that is both secure and scalable, aiming to transform everything from finance to supply chains and beyond. But as with any disruptive innovation, Cardano's journey has been anything but smooth. Over the past year, a storm has been brewing. The catalyst, the 2021 Allegra hard fork, a pivotal upgrade meant to unlock new functionality and flexibility within Cardano's network. Instead of being celebrated, this technical milestone has become the epicenter of controversy. Allegations began circulating online, with NFT artist Masato Alexander publicly accusing Hoskinson and Input-Output Global, known as IOG, of using a so-called Genesis key to manipulate Cardano's ledger, granting themselves more than 300 million ADA tokens. At the time, the value of these tokens was estimated to exceed $600 million. Social media quickly amplified the accusations, spawning rumors of a conspiracy that, if true, would undermine the very principles Cardano stands for. Hoskinson, for his part, has not remained silent. In a series of passionate posts, he has categorically denied the claims. IOG never gave itself 350 million unclaimed ADA. "This is a lie," he wrote, his frustration echoing the gravity of the situation. Still, in a world where trust is the foundation of value, even the whiff of impropriety can send shockwaves through the ecosystem. The Cardano community, long admired for its engagement and technical prowess, was left in turmoil. Debates raged on forums and social media. Longtime supporters demanded answers. Skeptics saw confirmation of their worst fears. The numbers at stake here go far beyond a single transaction. Cardano's on-chain activity is staggering. More than 138,000 Plutus scripts deployed, representing complex smart contracts and decentralized applications. Over 110 million transactions have been processed, making Cardano one of the most actively used blockchains on the planet. Developer activity, a key indicator of a healthy ecosystem, has surged by 32% in recent weeks, according to the official IOG development report. Meanwhile, the community has been actively debating a $100 million treasury deployment to enhance stablecoin liquidity, a sign of both ambition and the need for robust governance. But all this progress is threatened by a single, haunting question. Did IOG, under Charles Hoskinson's leadership, manipulate the ledger to seize ADA for itself? Or is this scandal merely a product of misinformation, amplified by the relentless rumor mill of crypto social media? To address these accusations head-on, Hoskinson has taken an unprecedented step. He has pledged to commission an independent audit, conducted by external legal and accounting experts rather than internal staff. The audit's findings, due for release in mid-August, will be made available to the public in their entirety. Hoskinson has promised to read the entire audit report live, unedited, and to host it on a permanent, dedicated website, alongside historical artifacts from Cardano's ADA sale. The message is clear: nothing will be hidden, no detail will be glossed over. Transparency is the only antidote to suspicion. Yet, even with this vow of openness, doubts persist. Some members of the Cardano community are skeptical about who gets to define the audit's scope and what constitutes misappropriation. Others worry that a single report could never fully repair trust in a project worth billions of dollars. There are legitimate fears that, regardless of the audit's findings, the damage to Cardano's reputation may linger for years, if not decades. And, as the countdown to August accelerates, the tension is palpable. Will this audit restore faith, or will it expose deeper cracks in Cardano's foundations? Let's take a step back. To truly understand the gravity of this moment, It's important to put Cardano's journey into context. Since its inception, the project has prided itself on a research-driven approach. Unlike many blockchain networks that launched with little more than a white paper and a dream, Cardano's team spent years on academic research and peer-reviewed papers before the mainnet ever went live. This commitment to rigor has paid off. Cardano is now one of the largest blockchain networks by market capitalization, consistently ranking in the top 10 digital assets globally. This methodical pace has sometimes frustrated those looking for quick wins. Yet, it has also earned Cardano a reputation for resilience and security, a reputation now being tested by the current controversy. The 2021 Allegra hard fork, designed to enable token locking and new governance features, was a technical triumph. But, as with any major upgrade, it also introduced complexity. The allegations focus on claims that IOG secretly used privileged access, referred to as a Genesis key, to allocate ADA to itself, bypassing the intended distribution mechanisms. Hoskinson's counterargument is straightforward. He asserts that most of the ADA in question had already been claimed by rightful owners, and that the remainder, following a 7-year grace period, was transferred to Intersect, a non-profit governance organization within the Cardano ecosystem. This step, he argues, demonstrates a commitment to transparency and decentralized oversight. Still, the mere existence of such allegations highlights the challenges facing any blockchain project that seeks to balance innovation with accountability. Intersect, for those unfamiliar, is a unique entity in the world of blockchain governance. Established to provide a layer of checks and balances, Intersect acts as a steward for unclaimed tokens and other governance matters. The transfer of unclaimed ADA to Intersect followed extensive community debate and was implemented to ensure that no single entity, including IOG, could unilaterally control these assets. This governance structure is far from perfect, but it represents an evolution from earlier crypto projects that often lacked any formal oversight mechanisms. Amidst the controversy, the broader Cardano ecosystem continues to flourish. Over 138,000 Plutus scripts are now live, powering a growing array of decentralized finance platforms, NFT marketplaces, and real-world applications. More than 110 million transactions have been verified and settled on-chain, underscoring the platform's scalability and reliability. Developer activity, as measured by GitHub commits and project launches, has jumped by nearly 1/3 in recent months, a sign that, for many, the work goes on even as the headlines swirl. The Cardano treasury, itself a marvel of decentralized finance, recently became the center of heated debate. A proposal to deploy $100 million from the treasury to support stablecoin liquidity was met with a mix of excitement and caution. Some community members saw it as a bold move to cement Cardano's role in the expanding world of decentralized finance. Others warned that such a large expenditure required careful oversight and clear accountability. This debate encapsulates the core challenge facing Cardano and other blockchain projects: how to innovate boldly while remaining transparent and accountable to a diverse and often opinionated community. As the audit nears completion, speculation runs rampant. Some experts, like Joel Telpner, Chief Legal and Policy Officer at IOG, insist that the upcoming audit represents a new benchmark for transparency in crypto. "We are setting a new standard for openness," Telpner stated in a recent update. He emphasized that the audit would be preserved not just online, but as a historical artifact, accessible to future generations of blockchain researchers and enthusiasts. This level of transparency, he argues, is rare in an industry often plagued by secrecy and opaque decision-making. However, not everyone is convinced. Some prominent community members have voiced concerns that the audit's parameters were defined too narrowly, potentially missing broader issues of governance or intent. "If this report cuts corners, it will haunt Cardano for years," warned one influential developer. Others have pointed out that, regardless of the audit's findings, trust, once broken, can be difficult to rebuild. The risk, they argue, is that the audit may become just another chapter in a long saga of crypto controversies, rather than the turning point Cardano's supporters hope for. Let's consider the possible outcomes. If the audit delivers a clean bill of health, Cardano could emerge stronger than ever. The full report will be hosted on a permanent website, accessible to anyone, and linked to historical records from the original ADA sale. Developers, users, and institutional investors may feel reassured, sparking renewed optimism and investment in the platform. Some industry analysts believe that such a display of transparency could attract new institutional players, who demand clear governance and financial integrity before committing significant capital. In this best-case scenario, Cardano's developer activity, already up by 32%, could surge even higher. The ecosystem could see an influx of new decentralized applications, partnerships with enterprises, and expanded use cases in sectors ranging from healthcare to supply chain management. The lessons learned during this crisis could inform future governance reforms, making Cardano a role model for transparency and resilience in the blockchain space. But there is also a darker possibility. If the audit uncovers irregularities, or if it leaves critical questions unanswered, the consequences could be severe. Legal action might follow, both from aggrieved investors and from regulators, eager to rein in what some perceive as the Wild West of crypto. ADA's price could experience a sharp decline, not just from panic selling, but from the loss of confidence in the project's leadership and governance. Rival blockchains might seize the moment to lure away developers and users, fragmenting Cardano's community and undermining years of painstaking progress. Moreover, even a thorough audit may not be enough to silence the critics. In the age of social media, narratives are shaped as much by perception as by fact. Some may argue that the audit was biased or incomplete, fueling further controversy. Others may question why such allegations could arise in the first place, pointing to underlying issues in Cardano's governance model. In the words of one skeptical analyst, "You can't audit away a culture of secrecy. The real challenge is to build systems where such accusations are impossible, not merely disprovable." Yet, there is a third, more nuanced path. A scenario where Cardano's future is shaped not by a single report, but by the ongoing resilience and innovation of its community. Regardless of the audit's outcome, the platform's long-term prospects may hinge on its ability to deliver real-world value through decentralized applications, partnerships, and technological breakthroughs. With over 138,000 Plutus scripts and more than 110 million transactions, Cardano's infrastructure is robust. The recent 32% jump in developer activity suggests that, for many, the day-to-day work of building on Cardano continues unabated. In fact, history offers several instructive parallels. Consider the Ethereum DAO hack of 2016, which led to a contentious hard fork and years of debate over governance and trust. Or the more recent Solana outages, which tested user confidence yet ultimately spurred infrastructure improvements. In both cases, the projects survived, and in some ways, emerged stronger, because their communities refused to be defined solely by crisis. Instead, they used controversy as a catalyst for reform and innovation. For Cardano, the lessons are clear. Transparency must be more than a buzzword. It must be embedded in every aspect of governance and development. The creation of Intersect as a governance body is an important step, providing a forum for community oversight and decision-making. Yet, as the current scandal demonstrates, even the best structures can be undermined by poor communication or perceived conflicts of interest. So what does all of this mean for you, the viewer, the investor, the blockchain enthusiast? First, it is a powerful reminder to approach headlines and rumors with a critical eye. In the hyper-volatile world of crypto, misinformation spreads at the speed of light, and even the most credible projects can find themselves under siege by rumors, speculation, and half-truths. By demanding transparency and following the facts, you help create a healthier, more accountable industry. Second, the Cardano saga underscores the vital role of governance in any blockchain ecosystem. Decentralization is not just about distributing technical power. It is about creating systems of checks and balances, ensuring that no single person or organization can act without oversight. The presence of Intersect, now holding the disputed ADA after a 7-year period, highlights the importance of having independent bodies to safeguard community interests. For anyone invested in blockchain, understanding these governance structures is as important as tracking price charts or reading white papers. Third, there is a lesson in crisis leadership. Charles Hoskinson's decision to live-stream the audit, to consider legal action against media outlets, and to publish historical records reflects a proactive, not reactive approach. Whether you are a founder, developer, or simply a passionate participant in the crypto revolution, the ability to confront challenges head-on and to communicate openly with your community can make all the difference. Looking ahead, the stakes remain immense. Cardano's future may depend not on the outcome of a single audit, but on its willingness to learn, to adapt, and to innovate. The audit's release in mid-August will mark a pivotal moment, but it will not be the end of the story. The decisions made in the weeks and months that follow, whether to reform governance, to invest in new technologies, to foster deeper community engagement, will shape Cardano's trajectory for years to come. From a broader perspective, this episode may serve as a wake-up call for the entire crypto industry. As regulators around the world turn their attention to digital assets, The demand for transparency, accountability, and robust governance will only grow stronger. Projects that can demonstrate these qualities will be better positioned to survive and thrive. Those that cannot may find themselves sidelined, regardless of their technical merits. There is another dimension to consider: the impact on Cardano's market dynamics. Analyst Ali Martinez recently noted that large ADA holders, sometimes referred to as whales, sold over 270 million ADA, worth more than $170 million, during the height of the allegations. This massive movement of tokens had a tangible effect on ADA's price, highlighting the interconnectedness of trust, liquidity, and market stability. Yet even as these sales occurred, developer activity soared, and new projects continued to launch. It is a testament to Cardano's underlying strength that, in the face of adversity, its builder community remained undeterred. So how should you navigate these turbulent waters? Here are a few actionable insights. First, always do your own research. Read primary sources, review audit reports, and follow reputable analysts. Don't rely solely on sensational headlines or viral tweets. Second, engage with the community. Participate in governance debates, attend online forums, and ask questions. The strength of a blockchain lies in its users and developers, not just its code. Third, diversify your investments and interests. The crypto space is vast, with opportunities in decentralized finance, NFTs, identity solutions, and more. By spreading your attention and capital, you reduce your exposure to the risks of any single project. And finally, remember that innovation is a journey, not a destination. Every major blockchain has faced scandals, setbacks, and forks in the road. What separates the survivors from the failures is not the absence of crisis, but the capacity to learn, adapt, and evolve. To sum up, will the audit clear Cardano's name or deepen the controversy? The truth is, the story does not end with the audit. While a clean report could calm nerves and restore trust, Cardano's future depends on ongoing transparency, resilient governance, and a relentless drive for innovation. Regardless of the outcome, the next chapter for Cardano will be written by its leaders, developers, and community, and by the lessons that the entire crypto world chooses to learn. And here is a secret fact the headlines missed. Even as FUD and rumors swirled, developer activity on Cardano soared by 32%. Sometimes, the real story is not in the accusations, but in the builders who quietly keep moving the industry forward. If you want to stay ahead of the curve in global economics, crypto, and technology, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments.